Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Newsroom series where we bring you up to speed with news from around the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Our focus today is the northwest region of the country. But first, the headlines, where the Senate has confirmed the nomination of Lieutenant General Olufemi Olatubosun Oluyede for appointment as Chief of Army Staff. Today's confirmation follows the consideration of reports by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Army, representing Katsina Central Senatorial District. Now, the committee's recommendations were unanimously adopted by the upper chamber. Lieutenant General Oluyede was appointed to act as the Chief of Army Staff following the death of Lieutenant General Tarid Lagwaja last month. The Lagos State Special Offences Court has ordered the arrest of former Managing Director of Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, Ahmed Kuru, for his absence at his arraignment for alleged 76 billion naira fraud. Justice Mojisola Dada issued the bench warrant following a plea by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The FCC has scheduled today for the arraignment of Mr. Kuru. He was to be arraigned alongside the Managing Director of Arik Air, the Receiver Manager of Arik Union Bank PLC, and a company, Super Bravo Limited, for an alleged 76 billion naira and $31.5 billion fraud. At the proceedings this morning, the FCC was represented by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Wahab Shitu, while Omokide and Elegbodu, the first and third defendant, were represented by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Professor Taiwo Oshipiton. Both defendants were present in court. Mr. Kuru's absence, however, stalled the arraignment of all the defendants. We begin our coverage of the Northwest region on Newsroom series today in Zamfara State. The Kebbi State, The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency has officially inaugurated the rollout of the malaria vaccine in Kebbi. The ceremony was flagged off by the Kebbi State Deputy Governor, Senator Omar Tafida, and marks a significant step towards combating malaria. The malaria vaccine will be integrated into routine immunization schedules for children aged 5 to 15 months.
Malaria is a disease that continues to burden Nigeria with a high number of cases and deaths recorded annually. As part of global efforts to eradicate malaria, Nigeria recently received 1 million doses of the vaccine, with Kebbi and Bayelsa selected as pilot states for the rollout. To facilitate the deployment, the National Primary Healthcare Development Authority has updated routine immunization cards to include the malaria vaccine, ensuring mothers can easily access and track their children's vaccinations.
Based on the burden of disease, we prioritize 2 states, one in the north and the other in the south. This vaccine is for children 5 months to 11 months. So this is the eligibility criteria, and the vaccine is injectable and is in 4 doses.
The agency emphasizes that preventive measures such as sleeping under long-lasting insecticide nets and other strategies will continue to complement the vaccine's use.
It will be part of the normal routine immunization activity schedule. So in our data tools, we have updated and included the malaria as part of the routine immunization. So now we introduce new cards that contain malaria vaccine, and the register. All the data collected will now go to our DHIS2 and other platforms that we store our database.
Kebbi State Deputy Governor describes the malaria vaccine as a game changer in the fight against the disease.
The introduction of the malaria vaccine stands as a symbol of hope, of a clear demonstration of our unwavering dedication in providing the health of our citizens. Kebbi State government has long remained committed in improving the health and well-being of our people.
The launch of the malaria vaccine marks a new chapter in the state and the country's fight against malaria, with a promise of a healthier future for children and families across Nigeria.
And now to Zamfara. The state's Substance Abuse Control and Prohibition of Human Trafficking Agency has organized a one-day meeting with the Committee of Chief Imams of Jum'at mosques across, selected by 6 local government areas of the state. The meeting held in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, centered on the theme, the danger of drug abuse in our society. The initiative aims at fostering collaboration between religious leaders and the agency in addressing the rising menace of drug abuse in Zamfara state.
Northwest Nigeria is grappling with a growing crisis of drug abuse among youths, contributing to rising insecurity in the region. It is against this backdrop that Zamfara State Substance Abuse Control and Prohibition of Human Trafficking Agency, in collaboration with the World Health Organization, organized a crucial meeting with the Committee of Chief Imams of Jum'at mosques to raise awareness about the dangers of drug abuse and its impact on society. The Zamfara State Coordinator of World Health Organization, Mukhtar Raji, speaking at the event, called on religious leaders to take an active role in promoting health intervention programs, particularly routine immunization efforts.
So we are calling on the religious leaders to be at the forefront of mobilization for all health interventions because of the importance of religious leaders, traditional leaders in health intervention, especially routine immunizations and all other PHC services at the local government and the various community.
The Executive Secretary of Zamfara State Substance Abuse Control and Prohibition of Human Trafficking Agency, pharmacist Ishak Anka, emphasized the critical role of religious leaders in shaping societal values and promoting awareness about the harmful effects of substance abuse.
Since we are trying to reduce the demand reduction of the drug abuse in our society, so we should use the chief imams in making sure that most of the Fridays, they should put it in their sermon, calling the attention of people, telling them the bad image, the menace, the disaster over the drug abuse in our society.
The event provided a platform for open dialogue on the causes and consequences of drug abuse, with participants exploring strategies to curb the problem through sermons, counseling, and grassroots mobilization.
Imams are the leaders of the society and they are the leaders of the community. They have all the power and the ability to influence the characters and the behaviors of our community. So whenever they were brainwashed and then they come to understand the existing danger behind the drug and the substance abuse, they'll be able to deliver it. They tell the community danger behind all these things, and then the community will really benefit from their sermon and the preaching, and then they will minimize their behaviors and then they will minimize the abuse.
The meeting concluded with a resolution to strengthen collaboration between religious institutions, community leaders, and the government to tackle the root causes of substance abuse and protect the youth from its devastating effects.
From drug abuse in the Zamfara state to the suspension of a planned industrial action by the Zamfara state chapter of the NLC, which occurred after reaching an agreement with the state government on the implementation of the 70,000 naira minimum wage for workers in the state. Following intense negotiations, the NLC and the state government signed a memorandum of understanding late Monday evening, solidifying their commitment to the new wage structure. The agreement also addressed other labor-related issues raised by the union, including that of improved welfare packages for state workers.
I was not happy with what is on the ground because I said we should come for agreement. They said, no, they cannot do it now. I thought, okay, let go ahead with the strike. So now that they have did what we expect, we will refer to our national headquarters. So when he come to this state, we have 3-month backlog of salary. He paid it one day. When he come, we have backlog of gratuity. Somebody that worked 30 years, not 3 years or 5 years, he has not been paid. What we calculate, I was in the committee, what we calculated was 13 billion. Now he offset 10.5 billion. It remained only 2 months until when this man come. It's a man of his word. He has never for a day give us his word and fail us.
Meanwhile, the Zamfara state government, represented at the meeting by the secretary to the state government, Abubakar Nakwada, expressed the administration's dedication to implementing the agreed wage increase.
What we have signed, the implementation date is going to be March, and reasons for that, if you recall, at the moment we have a committee working on the verification of the entire state workforce. This is intended to align the nominal role with regards to the payroll, so that it will now balance, and we are almost over 50% of that. So if the committee is able to deliver this in the next 1 week or so, which we sought for their opinion, and even before this engagement began, we were made to understand this will take us into January or so. So clearly that is what formed the decision for the state government to offer the implementation date to be in March. And I think March is just around the corner. And also, don't forget, we have the need to provide the budgetary provision, and which we have already done that in the 2025 budget by the grace of God.
Staying with the new minimum wage, this time in Kaduna State, where the state government has begun payment of the new structure of 72,000 naira to its workers from November 2024. The state governor, Senator Uba Sani, had 2 months ago approved the payment of the new minimum wage of 72,000 naira to all workers in the state's employment as part of the efforts to improve the welfare of its workers. Disclosing this to Channels Television, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ibrahim Musa, said that the Kaduna State government, in addition to the payment of the new minimum wage, also implemented other measures to support workers, including the provision of subsidized food and transportation support.
Kaduna State government, under the leadership of His Excellency Senator Obasani, has started implementing the new minimum wage by paying 72,000 naira for the least paid worker in Kaduna State in the month of November. So he has fulfilled the spirit and letter of the national minimum wage across the board. What people are saying is that he has not done consequential adjustment. I think there's a misconception here. There's a difference between salary increment and national minimum wage. A minimum wage presupposes that no person or no governor or no subnational should pay below 70,000 naira. So in that respect, by paying 72,000 naira to the least paid worker in Kaduna State has fulfilled all righteousness of the minimum wage law. So I think Labour is just being economical with the truth by lumping Kaduna State among states that have not paid the minimum wage and for threatening to go on strike. I think this is unnecessary, this is playing to the gallery, and this does not go well with the mutual understanding or trust that exists between Kaduna State government and Labour.
And Kaduna State remains in focus after the break on Newsroom series today as health sectors and health facilities are constructed. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State has inaugurated a newly constructed primary health center and skills acquisition center in Tudun Biri community in Igabi local government area 1 year after an accidental bombing that left at least 87 people dead. At the event, Governor Sani promised to ensure that the victims of the military bomb attack get justice and the community get the necessary basic amenities that will enhance their well-being.
December 3rd, 2023 was a sad day for residents of Tudun Biri community as a military drone on a mission against bandits mistakenly killed 87 people and injured several others. In the aftermath of the incident, Governor Uba Sani promised to rebuild the community and also ensure that the victims get justice. Governor Sani, accompanied by top government officials, is back in the community to commission the new 25-bed primary health care and skills acquisition center constructed by the state government to cater to the health needs of the residents and enhance their productivity.
This primary health center that has the capacity of admitting at least 25 children and women and elderly in the beds. Tudun Biri community occupies a special place in our hearts. That is why we wasted no time in creating access road to this community and commencing the construction of projects. The federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, is also constructing houses for the affected community.
The governor also flags off a free comprehensive medical care package for minor and major health challenges, as well as distribution of fertilizers and food items to the residents of the community.
We are very, very happy today because our governor, our father, our brother, he didn't forget us.
From the inauguration event, the governor went on to inspect the ongoing 6-kilometer road project that connects Tudun Biri community to the Kaduna International Airport.
This is a 6-kilometer asphalt road from the airport to Tudun Biri. You had the contractor have just said it, that in the next 4 months, by the grace of God, we will be coming back to commission this 6-kilometer asphalt road.
According to Governor Sani, Tudun Biri occupies a special place in his heart, as he will do everything within his reach to provide basic infrastructure to the community. Also promised that they will be adequately compensated by the federal government over the unfortunate bombing incident.
The Nigerian Export Processing Zone Authority has hosted investors and stakeholders forum in Kano State, bringing in members of the business community, Nigerian customs, Nigerian immigration, and others to brainstorm on the theme of the forum tagged Understanding the Concept and Operation of the Special Economic Zone Scheme aimed at proffering lasting solutions. Director of the zone, Muazu Sahabi, is of the view that the potential of the Kano Free Trade Zone has not been fully harnessed, as many people see it as a termination instead of an industrial area, that is a terminal, beg your pardon. Noting also that the zone has generated over 1 billion naira from January to October 2024. Channels Television correspondent Nanchin Vincent reports.
An annual Investors and Stakeholders Forum has been organized by the Nigerian Export Processing Zone Authority, NEPZA, at the Free Zone premises with the theme, Understanding the Concept and Operation of Special Economic Zones. The event aims to inform investors about the modus operandi of the Free Zone as an industrial area that can also provide jobs for Kano's teeming population. Director of the zone, Muazu Sahabi, has urged investors to establish more companies in the zone and improve its status of being an industrial area rather than a terminal.
Understanding of the scheme, because it's like most of the investors feel this is a terminal, they can just bring in anything at any time. But we are trying to show them this is not a terminal, this is an industrial area. We want them to come and invest, real investment, not only trading. Because what we observe in Kano, their main emphasis is about trading. But we are saying no, our youth need to be employed. That's the essence of the scheme. So they should come and establish enterprises, real manufacturing in the zone.
He further stresses that the zone made history, having generated over 1 billion naira from January to October.
January to date, our revenue that we generated, that's NEPSA, Kano Free Trade Zone, is 1.85 billion naira, while the custom, I think they generated over 4 billion naira from the zone.
Investors at the free zone are concerned about epileptic electricity and scarce foreign exchange as the major challenge of doing business.
The major one that we have now is the exchange rate, because whatever you did here is doing with dollar. Like 1.5 years back, the rate is 480, but now the rate has to be 1,700. So if you multiply it for the land, for everything here, you are not doing with naira, you are doing with dollar. So that's what we appeal to government. If they will change the thing, or they will give us special window for our rate of dollar, so that it will help us the business to go up.
NEPA is one thing, but at least the zone is trying to see what best we could get. Other than NEPA, I don't think we had any challenges.
The forum says its ultimate goal is to ensure that doing business at the Kano Free Trade Zone will include an enabling environment where innovation thrives to create more jobs and move the zone forward. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
The Katsina state government has unveiled plans to revamp a wind farm at the Lambarini area after nearly 2 decades of it being non-functional. State Governor Malam Diko Rada made this known during a meeting with the Vergnet Group, the original equipment manufacturers in France. Governor Rada, who was accompanied by the Special Advisor on Power and Energy, Dr. Hafiz Ibrahim Ahmed, disclosed that the state government is committed to working closely with Vergnet Group, that's the company, to rehabilitate the vital asset and restore its capacity to support the state's growing energy needs. The governor, while emphasizing the importance of the wind farm to the region's energy infrastructure, stated that his administration remains dedicated to ensuring its sustainable operation in line with Nigeria's Renewable Energy Master Plan and the 2060 Net Zero goals. The governor, in a statement signed by Ibrahim Kuola Mohammed, his chief press secretary, included plans for a solar farm to complement the wind project. And also in Katsina State, the Ease of Doing Business Council has inaugurated a steering and technical committee to promote transparency in agribusiness investment. The steering committee, headed by the State Deputy Governor, Honorable Farouk Jobe, and the technical committee by the State Commissioner for Lands and Physical Planning, Faisal Keita, are expected to advise the government to create sustainable land use and agribusiness policy and to monitor all land-based investment. State Deputy Governor, while inaugurating the 2 committees in his office at the General Muhammadu Buhari Government House, Katsina, says the overall objective of the committee is to develop a framework for responsible and inclusive land-intensive agricultural investment. They are also expected to ensure that agribusiness in the state is consistent with the principles and international best practices. Farmers in Jigawa State are struggling to access essential farm implements, hindering the agricultural activity. In response, the state government has announced plans to procure 300 additional tractors to enhance agricultural mechanization and improve farming efficiency. Our correspondent, Sadiq Ilyasu, reports.
As farming community in Jigawa State prepares for the dry season, the need to clear farmland has become urgent. However, accessing tractor services has emerged as a major challenge for these farmers.
My farm is less than a hectare, but it cost me over 100,000 naira to hire this to work in my farm. We wish the government will provide more tractors, because sometimes we go as far as Kudu to hire a tractor, which adds to the cost.
In response, the chairman of Dusa local government is encouraging farmers to consider using simpler tools to reduce costs and increase self-reliance.
To our own expectation, there is a need for the state government to intervene fully on simple tools, simple machines for the mechanized farming that can be affordable, if not to each farmer, but at least per cluster.
Meanwhile, the state government has taken decisive action, announcing the procurement of 300 additional tractors and a plan to train young people in tractor maintenance to ensure sustainability.
We have already entered into purchase agreement to procure 300 tractors, to procure also 60 number of combine harvesters, and other old farm implements that are expected: planters, harvesters, ridges, sprayers, all other aspects that is expected. In our effort to ensure the sustainability of this program, today we are sending 30 graduates to China to be trained as master technicians.
The state government hopes that these initiatives contribute to the reduction of the burden on farmers and promote sustainable agriculture practices in the state. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
And that's it on Newsroom series today. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Mkoko.